Imagine having the ability to stay calm no matter what life throws your way, like a superpower that keeps you in control. Today, we're diving into a life-changing lesson inspired by Stoic philosophy, a mindset that can completely transform how you handle challenges. Picture this. You're driving peacefully and suddenly someone cuts you off, or maybe a sharp comment from someone hits you like a dagger. Instantly, emotions flare. Anger, frustration, irritation. It happens to all of us. The question is, do you react impulsively, letting emotions dictate your actions? Or do you take a step back, breathe, and respond with clarity? The difference between these two approaches is life-changing, and it's exactly what the Stoics mastered centuries ago. Great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus understood that our reactions shape our reality. Life is unpredictable, full of obstacles and annoyances, but one thing remains in your control: your response. This is the secret to inner peace, to reclaiming power over your emotions, and to living a life dictated by wisdom rather than impulse. So what does it mean to react versus respond? When you react, it's automatic. A burst of anger, a sharp comeback, panic in the face of adversity. It's quick, driven by emotion, and often regrettable. Responding, on the other hand, requires a moment of pause. It's about taking a breath, assessing the situation, and choosing the best course of action. This is the essence of self-mastery. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Let that sink in. Events themselves are neutral. It's your perception and reaction that give them power over you. Think about how often we let small frustrations ruin our mood or dictate our actions. But imagine the strength in staying composed, unshaken, no matter what happens around you. In today's fast-paced world with constant stress, distractions, and conflicts, mastering this mindset is more important than ever. It's the key to staying level-headed when things don't go your way, to handling criticism with grace, to facing adversity with unwavering confidence. The Stoics knew that true strength lies in self-control. So how do we train ourselves to respond instead of react? The first and most powerful step is simple. Pause. Before you speak, before you act, before you let emotions take over. Pause. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often reflected on the importance of taking a moment to think before reacting. That small gap between stimulus and response is where your power lies. He would sit in stillness, reminding himself to master his emotions, to think before reacting. When anger flared or stress mounted, he would take a breath, allowing a brief moment for his rational mind to regain control. In that pause lay the key to clarity, a moment of power over his own impulses in a world that constantly demands immediate reactions, where notifications flood our attention and pressures build without end. Learning to pause can transform everything. Imagine facing an emotional trigger instead of reacting instantly. Stop, inhale deeply, and give yourself just a few seconds to think. The difference this tiny shift makes is profound. Suddenly the mind clears, and choices appear where before there was only impulse. This space between stimulus and response is where control is found. It is the space where wisdom grows, another essential practice in training. The mind is shifting perspective. The Stoics mastered this art. They understood that problems are not merely obstacles, but opportunities to see from different angles. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that true power lies in the mind, not in external events. Accepting this truth grants unshakable strength. Consider being stuck in traffic, running late for a crucial meeting. Frustration might be the instinctive response. But what if instead of anger, patience took its place, rather than seeing the situation as an inconvenience? It becomes a chance to reflect, to breathe, to listen to an audiobook, or simply practice staying present. The situation does not change, but the way it is perceived does. And that shift makes all the difference when faced with difficulty. A simple question can be asked: will this matter in a week, in a year? More often than not, the intensity of the moment fades when placed in the context of time. Emotions cloud judgment. But reframing circumstances allows reason to shine through, reducing stress and unnecessary turmoil. It is a habit that leads to clarity, a discipline of thought that brings peace. Stoicism also teaches the power of emotional detachment, not in a way that makes one unfeeling or indifferent, but in cultivating the ability to observe emotions rather than be consumed by them. Seneca understood this deeply. Emotions are natural, but surrendering control to them is a choice. The ability to step back and witness emotions rather than be ruled by them grants a freedom few ever attain. Mastering the mind is not about suppressing feelings, but understanding them, acknowledging their presence without allowing them to dictate actions. This is where true power lies. A wise philosopher once said that we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Think about that for a moment. Our minds have a way of exaggerating fears, worries, and frustrations, turning small concerns into overwhelming burdens. The way we perceive a situation often dictates how we feel about it, rather than the situation itself being the true cause of distress. Learning to detach emotionally allows us to take a step back and observe our thoughts and feelings without becoming consumed by them. When something upsets you, instead of immediately reacting, pause. Notice your heart beating faster, your mind racing. Instead of letting these emotions control you, acknowledge them as passing sensations. Remind yourself, I am not my anger. I am not my anxiety. These feelings are temporary. This small shift in perspective can completely change how you handle stressful situations. In today's fast-paced world, mastering this skill can make a world of difference. Emotional detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means not allowing emotions to dictate your actions. Over time, you'll realize that situations that once triggered strong reactions now barely affect you. This inner strength and resilience come from consistently practicing self-awareness and control. Another essential part of strengthening your mind is daily reflection. The Stoics believed in self-examination as a tool for growth. Every night, Marcus Aurelius would reflect on his day, considering what he did well, where he could improve, and how he handled challenges. This practice remains just as relevant today. Taking a few moments each evening to assess your responses to the day's events can provide profound insights. Ask yourself, did I react impulsively or respond thoughtfully? How can I improve tomorrow? The goal isn't to criticize yourself, but to learn and grow. Writing down your reflections can be incredibly powerful. Journaling helps you recognize patterns in your thoughts and behaviors, making it easier to make conscious changes. With time, this habit increases self-awareness, helping you recognize triggers and manage them effectively. The path to mastery isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming a little wiser, a little calmer, day by day. The beauty of this philosophy is that it doesn't demand perfection. It simply encourages progress. Training your mind to respond rather than react is a lifelong practice. Pause before acting, shift your perspective, cultivate emotional detachment, and reflect on your growth. These simple yet profound principles have stood the test of time, offering clarity and resilience in a chaotic world. Choose to be in control of your mind rather than letting it control you.